You are bound, whipped, and handicapped, both physically and spiritually, by some form of fear. Wow. Why is this? Well, fear closes you down and stops your growth. Fear stops you from doing the things that you want to do. Okay? When we live in a state of fear, we are essentially closing ourselves down to any greatness that we can possibly have and potentially have in our life. If you are in a fear mode or fearful vibration, you are essentially not allowing yourself to receive all that you could possibly receive if you were to flip that vibration, if you were to change your thoughts and emotions that were driving that vibration of fear into a vibration of courage, faith, purpose, and love. A vibration of courage, faith, purpose, and love. Two things cannot coexist simultaneously. Two different things, cannot coexist simultaneously. If you're in fear mode, you cannot be in faith growth mode. When we allow fear to be the driver behind our actions, we may essentially not even be here on this planet to live our lives, because the very essence of what life is for growth. Fear is the very opposite of life. Life is about growth, expansion, prosperity, all possibilities and potentiality. When fear is the driver, it is the boss or the driver of the vehicle of you, you cannot grow into the person that you have been designed to do. Because when you're in the energy of fear, you're basically telling the universe, or you're basically putting out the vibrations of to attract to you more experiences, more feelings, more beliefs, and more thoughts that are fear-based. You cannot advance forward in life, or if you do advance forward, it will be very, very minor when your mind is consumed, or when your mind is largely driven from energy, thoughts, and feelings of fear. Now, this is the funny thing about fear, because the majority of people, if asked, and ask this question to yourself as I say it, are you fearful of anything? Do you allow any fear to control you? Do you fear anything? And initially people may say, oh, I fear spiders, or I fear height, or I fear water. But go into fears of a more personal nature. Do you fear criticism? Do you fear loss? Do you fear loneliness? Do you fear failure? Do you fear ill health? Do you fear poverty? Do you fear sickness? And you could go on and on and on. Because if you answered yes to any of those fears, well then you are categorically not allowing yourself to receive the abundance and prosperity that this world has to offer. I said that you cannot be in two different vibrations at the same time. That is literally impossible. That's like saying that light and darkness can happen at the same time. It can't. Just like fear and courage cannot happen at the same time. So you cannot be in a receptive mode. You cannot advance in your life when fear, which is the greatest enemy of success, is driving your actions and feelings, okay? So what is fear, okay? We know that it's surrounded around how we act and think and be. But this is the beauty of it. If we live in a mind state that is fear-based and it's preventing us from receiving or opening up to what we want our lives to be, or advancing forward into what we want in our lives. We know that that's what it does. But this is the beauty of it. We have the power through our own thoughts to decide whether we hold on to that or whether we change it into a mind state that is more faith, goal-orientated, creative based, okay? All of those things that I said, faith, goal orientation, goal achieving, creativity, they are the opposite of fear. If you are living by any of the fears that I mentioned, you cannot create, you cannot advance, you cannot do all the things that you want to do because they're two opposite energy states. As I said, it's like night and day existing at the same time. It is impossible. It's like having winter and spring at the same time. Now, I know our seasons, our weather on a day-to-day basis might seem like that, but the celestial order and rhythm of the seasons, two of them cannot exist at the same time. Nothing of opposites can exist at the same time. So there's a beauty in this because you've got a choice. We all have a choice. We've got a conscious mind, and one of the characteristics of the conscious mind is choice. So if you're living your life by fear, you've got a choice to flip it over and live your life from an abundant and prosperity, to live your life in the direction of abundance and prosperity. Okay, so live in abundance. There is nothing stopping you. The only thing that is between you and your desire is a clear purpose. Okay, I'll say that again. The only thing that is between you and your desire, your goals, your wishes, your aspirations, is a clear purpose. Now, this is where assessing your own fear may become a bit tricky, okay? Because a lot of the time when I ask my clients to come up with their understanding of what their purpose is in this life, or what goals they want to achieve in this life, or what they simply want in this life. Okay, what do you want to get out of this life? A lot of people will turn around and say, well, actually, I'm not too sure what I want to get out of this life, and I don't really know, and every time I think about it, I just get confused, and it just annoys me, and it just frustrates me. But the reason why, the reason why people say that they don't know what they want and they don't think that they have a purpose maybe, or they don't understand their purpose, is because fear is talking. If somebody tells me that they don't know what they want, I know that they're coming from a mindset of fear, lack, limitation, worry, and doubt. Because if I say to you, you can have whatever you want in this lifetime, tell me what you want. Your subconscious mind, okay, we're on autopilot because we run on a program. So we consciously speak and think on that program, which is largely fear-based. 80% of the information in our subconscious mind is negative, okay? So it's either fear, worry, or doubt. So if I ask you what you want and you tell me you don't know what you want, I know that's only coming from a mindset of lack and limitation, a mindset of fear. So fear is literally, Napoleon Hill says this as well, is the death of all man, because it causes indecision. It causes procrastination. So you have fear. The seedling of fear is indecision. Okay, and then that manifests itself in worry and doubt. Okay, so you have a fear-based mind. You cannot make up your decision. You cannot make up your mind. You cannot make clear accurate and firm decisions about your life, i.e. what you want, if fear is a driving factor, and then when you do, or if you do, you start to worry and doubt yourself and doubt the likelihood of it happening. So that's how destructive fear is in your life. It stops you from making decisions on what you want when we know that we can have whatever we want in our lives. And then even if we do make that decision, it causes us to doubt every single conceivable thing about what we've just wished or wanted or verbalized about our wishes and desires. So a clear purpose is stepping in your way of you having what you want, but behind that clear purpose is a fear, because everybody has wishes, desires, aspirations. Okay, that's what makes us unique. Everybody has their own desires, wishes, and aspirations. But if fear is the makeup of your subconscious mind, well then, number one, you won't believe that you have individual wishes and desires. You won't believe that you know what you want. And you won't then carry out the actions necessary to put the steps forward to be what you want to be, to do the things that are necessary to be, have, and see the things that you want in your life. So fear essentially closes you down. It keeps you stuck. And this is another way of explaining it to you. Okay, let's say you say to yourself, oh God, I'd love that next promotion, or I would only love to work in a job like that, or I would only love to be in a relationship like that, or I would only love to make X amount of money. And then you think about the things that you have to do in order for that to happen. Hi, where are you from? I'm from Ireland, County Galway, the west of Ireland. If you've ever heard about the rainy part of Ireland, thanks for checking in. Thanks for being here and listening. That's where I'm from. Ireland. Woo! Up the Irish. Now I've lost my train of thought. So if fear, right? You have a goal. And you think about the things that you have to do to attain that goal. And you have fear is learnt. Okay, fear is a state of mind that has been induced. Fear is a state of mind that has been induced into your subconscious. Okay, that's causing you to act, feel, and behave the way that you do in your life to get the results that you get. Okay, so say you're facing an experience or a challenge, that really screams to you that this is going to give me everything that I want. But you pull back. Now, you pull back because you're afraid of the unknown. Or you could pull back because the unknown is unfamiliar. And by nature, we're not comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay? That's a primal state that's inside us as human beings, okay? Dating back to ancestors. But if you have had early experiences of loss, if you've had early experiences of pain, unpleasant events in particularly relationships, okay? So our family are our first tribe, all right? It's literally our tribe. If our experiences within our first tribe are unpleasant or consisted of hurt or pain or being let down or not supported, or a position where there was a lot of love was conditioned, not feeling supported, just generally feeling lost and lonely. Okay? If in the early years of your life that you had those experiences, lost and lonely and painful, then when you step out into life to try and do something different, to try and do something new, then the unfamiliarity of all that is going to trigger those initial unpleasant emotions in your life where you felt lost and lonely and hurt and unsupported. So those experiences lead you into adulthood with the fear, okay, of not wanting to try something new or something different, because your brain is telling you, don't go there, you're going to get hurt. Okay, so what's unfamiliar and uncertain to you, or what brings challenges to you, can easily be something, and you hold back from them. What could be driving that can be your early experiences of feeling lost or lonely. Because let's face it, if you take on a new challenge, a big new challenge, okay, because we work with C-type goals, we work with big massive goals that you have no clue how to achieve. Every time I set a goal for myself, I have no clue how to achieve it, okay? That's the way goals are meant to be massive, okay? So you're likely doing something that's out of the ordinary. You're likely doing something where people are going to say, don't be silly, how can you achieve that? That's not possible, okay? Because over 95% of the population live in a limiting mindset. So be sure that when you step off the ledge over into something different, that you're going to be faced with the response and the attitude and the words from your loved ones. They mean well, your friends and your family, that don't be silly, don't be stupid, why would you do that? Nobody's doing that, that's not going to work. So that's a very lonely place to be. When you step out there, you may feel lost and lonely. Now here's the key. How do you deal with those feelings of being lost and lonely? If those feelings and lost and lonely if you've had experience of being lost and lonely in the earlier years of your life, then when you experience them in adult life, you're going to run away. You're going to jump back to safety. You're going to jump back to what's familiar. You're going to jump back to what's okay. So the fear of being hurt, essentially. So let me just recap on what I was saying there. So you want to achieve something big in your life, and you share it with your friends and your family. And they say stuff like, don't be silly, that's not possible, how are you going to do that, that's never been done, etc, etc, etc. And you will likely, if you have had early experiences in your life of feeling hurt, lost and lonely, you will likely jump back in to what's familiar, jump back into what's normal, jump back into your normal life, what you are currently doing. So fear has massive repercussions for how you advance and accelerate in your life, because it's that fear that determines how you act when it comes to setting your own challenges, attaining your own challenges, committing to your goals, your big massive goals, and stepping up to change into the person that you need to become in order for you to attain those goals. So how do we overcome fear? Well, first of all, we need to identify it. Okay, Napoleon Hill has a great way of putting it. Let me see if I can get it for you. Yes, here. Before we can master an enemy, which is your fear, we must know its name, its habits, and its place of abode. Okay? Yeah? If we don't know what it's about, if we don't know how to identify it, good luck in trying to remove it. Okay? So we must know our enemy inside and out. Now, fear can be really obvious or it can be really subtle. Okay, and as you dive deeper into your fears, you will realize how subtle they are. So how do we identify our enemy, know its fixed abode, know its habits, know everything about it? Self-analysis. Okay, self-analysis is the only way to do this. And honest self-analysis even more so. Okay? To demand more of life than mediocrity, you must embark on a journey of self-analysis. Now, a coach, a mentor, a therapist, a friend can help you do this. It can be very hard to do it yourself because you're primed not to see your own dysfunctional, destructive behaviors, okay? And that is another chat, but you are primed not to see your own dysfunctional behaviors. So a lot of what you do that's holding you back, a lot of the behaviors and feelings and thoughts that are driven by your fears, you are oblivious to them, okay? So if you don't embark on a mentor, a therapist, or somebody to support you through the process of doing the self-analysis, self-discovery journey, ask your friends, because when you start to ask yourself the truth about your life, what you're doing, what you're not doing, the beliefs that you hold and maintain about yourself, the feelings that you avoid in order to advance yourself forward, you will start to come up with excuses and alibis and reasons and everything else that's going to hold you back into the state of where you currently are at. Okay, as I said, the mind is primed that way. We are, because we're a program, we are unconsciously aware of our habitual patterns of thinking and behaving. So self-analysis is key. There's no getting out of this without self-analysis. That is what is going to propel you forward into replacing fear with faith, with courage, with a goal-striving mindset, with a goal-achieving and a goal-obtaining outcome in your life, leading you to the results that you experience in your life. So self-analysis is the one. So you start off, pick one thing in your life where you know or where you're even questioning if fear is present. Okay, now as I said, there's 6 basic fears. Yeah, there's the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of death, and the fear of death, fear of ill health, the fear of old age, and the fear of loss of a loved one. Okay, and then there's hundreds and thousands of other fears that are disguised under under that umbrella of the 6 basic fears. But just know, if there is any form of fear in your life, do yourself a favor. Give yourself what you deserve and start addressing that, because you can be sure that that fear is stepping in your way of you advancing and accelerating yourself into the person that you have the potential and capability of becoming. So say for example, you don't feel good, and you think to yourself, why is this so hard? Life is so difficult. Why is this always happening to me? I don't feel good. I mustn't be a good person. Okay, all that talk, your internal dialogue and your self-talk, is a key indication of the fears that you hold in your subconscious mind. So listen to how you're speaking to yourself, the words that you're using. So say for example, like that, you're not feeling good and you start this cycle of thinking and talking to yourself into that is saturated with the energy and vibration of fear, worry, and doubt. As I said, when in that state and vibration, there can be no receiving of the abundance and prosperity that is out there available to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. The secret is whether you receive it is how you're using your mind, how you're directing and constructing your thought processes. Okay? But if those thought processes are fear-based, you cannot receive any good. Let's flip that over into this. Okay? This is what I want you to start practicing in order to start seeing momentum in opening up yourself to all possibilities. Okay, say, I don't feel good. Okay, you wake up and you don't feel good. And then how about speaking to yourself like this? Oh, I don't feel good today. Maybe this is a sign that I need to pay attention to something. Maybe I need to take a step back and reassess where I'm at in life. Maybe this is an opportunity to see that things aren't working and that I need to shift things around so that they do start working in my favor. I'm going to take some time out and just honor how I'm feeling, because how I'm feeling is a roadmap to get me to feeling better and to get me into a state and mode of how I want to be. So if you just compare when I was describing either side, coming from a fear, worry and doubt internal voice, internal dialogue, to a voice, an internal dialogue and a voice of opportunity and potentiality and growth. They're completely different. I cannot open myself up to be a better person if I'm over here beating the drum about how crap I'm feeling and how miserable life is and how unfair life is, and having a pity party for myself. You will stay in that state. And that state is driven by fear beliefs in the subconscious mind. If you come over here and see a different perspective of your experience, you will be guaranteed you will only move yourself and open yourself up for more better experiences. You come into a state of mind of faith and belief and courage and advancement. So, do not let fear rob you, or as Napoleon Hill says, handicap you, both physically and spiritually, from having the things in your life that you truly want. Okay? So, that is fear in a nutshell. Remember, you have a choice which way you live your life. Choose wisely.